Hi. Okay, so Jane from Jane's Journey and I were commenting on my last video about um, the Arctic Circle map video I made in correlation with the Kings of the North and South and what those really were. And so she mentioned her video about the Sea of Jesus. So anyways, this is the map she has on her video, and I will show you a close-up. I'm sorry again for this low quality video. I do not have my computer going. I did print this out though, and I'm going to frame it because it's cool. So I guess to go into teacher mode again. Sorry for the low quality. My computer still is not working properly, so let me try to scoot this up. Okay. So her and I, well, she mentions in her video, this is cut off actually, this map is worth up to $4,500 actually, so, and I'll keep my cheapy free cut off for now. She mentions in her video the Sea of Jesus because there's lots of speculation that the biblical lands are not where we are told, as is everything else. So I wanted to study this map a little bit, and I just came across this name up here online, so I'll read about him in a second. But a couple of things I noticed about this map, and I'm really only going to focus on the western half of North America. I cannot, there's too much else to look at, so I'm just going to focus on here and obviously where I live a little bit. We were talking about the Mississippi a little bit. And then in the description I found online, it also talks about it, so we'll get to that in a second. And the reading's kind of lengthy, so I'm sorry, you'll have to just listen to me. So my speculation, let me look at this again. I think this map obviously is incomplete, and I think that America, North America, and South America, and Central America, sorry I said that out of order, did look completely different. Now I think, so here this is the Sea of Jesus, that's in Greek there, and here's the island, Isle de Californie, Mer de Californie, which means water or sea, Sea de Sud, so that means the Sea of the South, Mer de North, North d'America, Mer de Canada, de Nouvelle, France. So the man whose name is on this map is French and worked for King Louis. Okay, so back to what I'm saying. So there's the island. I'm sorry, there's the island of California. I'm thinking, let me close up for a second. I could be wrong, but mountains like this wouldn't go through the water. So I'm thinking this is all land, and somewhere here they didn't put in the shoreline. It seems like the Americas were all the way up, like we've talked about, up to the Arctic in the other map. Autodidactic has much to say about that map, much more than I do. I am just a simple girl from Illinois. So trying to use her brain. So I think this is land here. I think that's land, the island of California, and the ocean, sea. So I possibly think this is all land because he has the mountain range here. A mountain range just wouldn't stop, and I don't see any, there's no labeling of any water here. So I'm wondering if this is land all the way up. It does say Mer de Glacial or Mer Glacial right here. So I don't know what that would be. And then it says Buttons Bay right here. So I'm thinking this is land. One more time. I guess I said this 3 times now. Island, sea, I don't know what that says. Land, little islands, glacial bays, and things like that. This is all land also because this is a mountain range. So I'm thinking America as we know today was chopped. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's land. Okay. I can't make out any of these small markings at all. Maybe in the real map that costs $4,500. You can read. I could not read all these. I tried to magnify it as best I could on my phone. I don't know Latin. I guess I'd have to look into that. But I did notice the man's name, Hubert. It looks like an I, but of course it's a J online. Hubert Jalliot or Jalliot. Aillot? I don't know. I don't know French. I did notice, but I could be wrong. I did zoom in on this description here, and I was trying to figure out in English what it would be, just going from my own prefix and suffix kind of knowledge and different things. And it looks like Savior to me, but I could be wrong. So I can't even see it without. Obeisant. Obeisant at our, something with an F, Savior, in obedience and faith to our Savior. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. That's my own interpretation, but I don't know. It just says servant, appartiente, presentamente, something like that. And there's this weird cheetah body, head of a man, person, animal thing, being. Why did they do that? And then there's like this armadillo looking cheetah thing here. And then there's some parrots on the top. And there's some kind of water being there. These all have meanings. I know they do. I just haven't looked into it. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's late. It's getting late and I'm kind of spacey, so I'm kind of talking, I'm rambling, and I'm not talking always insane here, sanely. Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm not even going to go to the other parts of the map. Maybe I'll make another video about the other half. So, it says Mer Rouge. That's like the channel between California and the mainland of North America. Okay, so that's my thoughts on the map. Now I'm going to read about the man, supposedly, who worked on this map. On here it only says Hubert or Hubert Jalliot. On here it says Alexis Hubert Jalliot. Okay. Amerique Septentrionale. That's what that map is called. All right, I'll read as much as I can without being too boring about this Hubert man. An impressive and scarce 1695 map of North America issued by Alexis Hubert Jalliot. The map covers all of North America and Central America from Baffin Bay to the Spanish Main. The map extends westward to past an insular California to include Terre de Leso, a speculative mapping of Hucario, and eastwards past the Azores to include the British Isles, which they do. I didn't get to that part. Excuse me for my appearance too. My allergies are bothering me today. Okay, so this man's name also, I'll get to it. It does say it at the bottom if I get there. Jalliot. There is a town here in Illinois that I live about 40 minutes away from. It's called Joliet, and that's named after Louis Joliet, the explorer. That's all I know. There's many explorer names here in Illinois. But Jalliot, it's Jaillot or Iaillot. That's what it says on the map, and sounds very similar to Joliet. Jalliot. He derived this expanded format map from the earlier work of Nicolas Sanson, a figure who revolutionized French cartography. We can trace the fundamental design of this map to two Sanson maps. So they're really saying that this map was done according to other works of this Sanson man. Sanson. First, his 1666 map of North America, wink, wink, on which most of the basic cartography is based. Second, Sanson's 1657 map of California, from which both maps derive their model of insular California, itself derived from maps associated with the English explorer Luke Fox's expedition in search of the Northwest Passage. Thus, the form of California seen here follows the second Sanson model, or more properly, the Luke Fox model. It was Fox who is credited with the introducing of the curious form of the northern insular California, including the Bay of Talago, the Rio de Estete, and the unusual peninsula extending from the mainland Agubela de Gato. The origin of this cartography beyond Fox remains a mystery. Well, of course it remains a mystery. Someone knows somewhere out there, but they don't want to say. Adopted by Sanson in 1657, this form became standard convention for the representation of insular California until the early 18th century. Okay. Standard representation, because it was an island then, but then it wasn't. Something must have happened to change that. The idea of an insular California first appeared, let's see, it was there, it was mapped out multiple times, not just this map. The idea of an insular California first appeared as a work of fiction in Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo's 1510 or circa 1510 romance, where he writes, "Know that on the right hand of the Indies there is an island called California, very close to the side of the terrestrial paradise." That's interesting because there is speculation about paradise and Eden also being north of America. Okay. Okay, and this is interesting too. And it is peopled by black women without any man among them, for they live in the manner of Amazons. So I guess that's where Wonder Woman's from. Baja California was subsequently discovered in 1533 by Fortune Ximenez, who had been sent to the area by Hernan Cortez. Cortez himself traveled to Baja. He must have had Montalvo's novel in mind, for he immediately claimed the island of California for the Spanish king. By the late 16th and early 17th century, ample evidence had been amassed through explorations of the region by Francisco de Ola, Hernando de Alarcón, and others, that California was in fact a peninsula. However, by this time, other factors were in play. Francis Drake had sailed north and claimed New Albion, identified here on the northwest coast of California Island, near modern-day Washington and Vancouver, for England. Let me look at that. So tiny. It does say Nuevo Mexico, so New Mexico, Nuevo Mexico. Apache and Navajo. It does say that there, so anyways, so tiny. All right, back to the description. I'm sorry if this is boring. Turn it off if you don't like it, but I think it's interesting. Okay, the significant influence of the Spanish crown on European cartographers caused a major resurgence of the insular California theory. Well, I don't think they'd make such a detailed map and then it be seen as a theory. Just before this map was made, Eusebio Kino, a Jesuit missionary, of course, traveled overland from Mexico to California, proving conclusively the peninsularity of California. In addition to its remarkable presentation of California, this map also offers a very ephemeral perspective on the Great Lakes. While all 5 lakes are present, Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, Lac des Puans, are open at their westernmost extremes. I guess I'll look at the other half of the map on another video. Thus illustrating the primitive state of exploration in the region, as well as the high hopes of European monarchs that one of these lakes may provide a passage to the Pacific and the lucrative markets of Asia. I'm sure they did. Lake Huron is identified according to its original Huron-Puton Wyandot, named, I'm not even going to say that name, that original name, Big Lake. The Mississippi River here identified Chihuahua, I'm not even going to try, a term derived from the journals of De Soto's expedition, relocated well to the east, a major advancement over previous maps. Jalliot, our Hubert man, reasoning behind this relocation is unclear. I don't think he relocated it. I think it was like that. But may have been influenced by reconnaissance associated with the recently returning expeditions of Jacques Marquette, which is another place around here in Illinois, and Louis Joliet, which I mentioned before. In Spanish Florida, which extends north to include most of the American Southeast, Lake Appalachia, I'm sorry, it's really late and I cannot read, Lake Appalachia, or the Great Freshwater Lake of the American Southeast, is noted. This lake, first mapped by Dubreuil and Le Moyne in the mid-16th century, is a mismapping of Florida's Lake George. A lot of mishappenings and mismappings here, huh? And theories. While Dubreuil, I want to say debris because it makes me think of what happened, correctly mapped the lake as part of the River May or St. John's River, subsequent navigators and cartographers in Europe erroneously associated it with the Savannah River. How dare they? How erroneous. Which, instead of flowing south from the Atlantic like the May, flowed almost directly from the northeast. Okay. Lake Appalachia was subsequently relocated somewhere in Carolina or Georgia, where Hubert maps it and where it would remain for several hundred years. That's where I'll stop reading because the rest is just about his background. So I don't know if that gave any perspective. Maybe you'll have to watch that again. I'm sorry for my misspeaking. Like I said, it's late and my brain gets tired. So right now I was just looking at the western side again of this map. I will post a link below of what I was reading. So yeah, this is a long video for this topic, and I didn't want to go that long. So interesting. I will leave the link where I printed this map off also if you want to print it off and look at it. Okay? Blessings.